So, Chelsea didn't muck about in this January transfer window. I only woke up half an hour or so after it was announced and confirmed, but Chelsea have officially completed the signing of the 20-year-old American Christian Pulisic for a fee of €64 million or £57.6 million from Borussia Dortmund, making him the third most expensive player in Chelsea's history. Hello there guys and welcome back to 100% Chelsea. For some breaking news, the Chelsea have signed Christian Pulisic from Borussia Dortmund. Of course, I will talk you through all the details of the deal itself. You know, how long his deal will be, what exactly will happen, the fee, all sorts of information about it, basically about him as a player, where he plays, how good he is, what I like about him, stuff like that as well. Also, his weaknesses, if there are any, watch the video to find out. And of course, obviously my overall thoughts on the deal itself and what, implications it has, going forward and for Chelsea as a club. Of course, this is that video, so if you don't want to miss out on any future videos like this, because, I have a little bit of a feeling that we'll sign maybe a few more players this January. So if you don't want to miss out on any of that, of course, do make sure you subscribe to 100% Chelsea. And also for all of our content surrounding the games, like the Southampton game tonight. And also, let's see whether we can hit 500 or more likes in this video. I would massively appreciate it. Show us your support if you do enjoy our videos, so make sure to smash that like button down below. But now getting into the video, and yeah, Christian Pulisic has reportedly signed a 5.5-year deal with Chelsea, but will actually be loaned straight back to the German club Borussia Dortmund until the end of the season and will actually join Chelsea only in the summer. Before I go into more detail about him as a player and the deal, do not lose your shit, please. Please do not. I repeat, do not lose your shit. Signing Christian Pulisic has nothing, and I mean zero, to do with Eden Hazard. It doesn't mean that Hazard will leave. It also doesn't mean that Hazard will stay though. It's just irrelevant to what happens with Hazard, only to the extent that Hazard might have wanted the club to sign a more high-profile player to convince him of signing a new contract, but signing Pulisic doesn't mean Hazard will leave. That is not what's happening. But now back to the American, who did release a statement today himself, thanking his club Dortmund and saying that he feels very privileged to be joining such a legendary club like Chelsea in the summer, as he looks forward to working hard toward contributing to our squad of world-class players and also working with Maurizio Sarri and his staff. Now Pulisic had 18 months remaining on his contract, and Chelsea are said to have wanted to take him from Dortmund right now, but Dortmund, with being top of the Bundesliga and certainly hoping to win the title, weren't willing to let him leave right now for less than £80 million, which quite frankly is ridiculous considering the length of his contract left. But apparently that was the situation. That was apparently why, well, we obviously had to kind of agree to the terms, well, that we did agree to, of signing him for around 60 million, well, £58 million, and only actually getting him in the summer with him being loaned back to Dortmund. Now, Dortmund sports director Michael Zog said in the club's official statement that it has always been the player's dream to play in the Premier League, which meant that the club Dortmund were unable to extend his contract and therefore decided to accept a very lucrative offer by Chelsea. I will give you my final thoughts on the deal at the end of the video or later on in the video, but now let's look at Pulisic's career and him as a player. Chelsea's official statement read, for him to be a natural right winger, but also comfortable playing on the left and behind the striker as well. The right-footed American, born in September of 1998, did join Dortmund in their under-17s from Pennsylvania Classics in February of 2015. Then working his way through the ranks to make his debut for the first team less than a year later in January of 2016 at the age of 70. He has since played 115 games for Dortmund in all competitions, scoring 15 goals and assisting 24 goals. 81 of those 115 games were played in the Bundesliga with 10 goals and 16 assists in that, plus 20 games in the Champions League and 6 of them in the Europa League. At the age of 20, to be honest, that amount of games, 115 professional games for a club like Borussia Dortmund, is remarkable. It does certainly suggest a higher player majority than most other 20-year-olds have in this business. Like, let's be honest. I mean, this season he has only made 18 appearances, which, is still not very little, but a lot of them have been from the bench in all competitions. After getting unlucky with some minor injuries throughout the season, though, especially at the start of the season when he, was their start at right wing, basically, which also then gave Jadon Sancho, obviously the English starlet, if you will, the chance to permanently occupy Pulisic's spot in the starting 11, and the Englishman certainly did that, which obviously, left Pulisic, on the bench quite a lot, but also still picking up a few more minor injuries along the way, but that doesn't really mean he's, injury prone or something. He's just a bit more, just got a bit unlucky so far this season, to be honest. And when Chelsea say that he can also play on the left and behind the striker, they're not wrong. While he played the majority of his games on the right, Throughout his career, he played more than 20 games both on the left wing and as an attacking midfielder, actually getting the best goals and assists to games ratio from attacking midfield, although not all of those games have been in professional football. Now, Pulisic is a very, very fast player, a very good dribbler with a pretty good cross and finish in him as well, and certainly a player with a lot of potential, like huge potential. But some more talk surrounding the deal. While Maurizio Sarri was certainly consulted about the signature, Pulisic has been a Chelsea target for a long time and most likely would have joined us eventually, regardless of the manager in charge. Or let's say, most likely the club would have tried to sign him regardless of the manager in charge. But now coming to my thoughts about the whole thing. Do I think he is a good player? Yes. Do I think he has great potential and can improve a lot in the coming years? For sure. For sure that is the case. But did I necessarily want Chelsea to sign him? Honestly, no. And I've said that previously as well. Do also his stats look a little bit similar to Willian, who is constantly criticised for his lack of end product? Yes, they kind of do. It's not that many goals and not that many assists considering he played 115 games. But let's not forget that Willian is 10 years older than Pulisic. And at 20 years of age, not having the greatest end product is something that can and certainly will improve as well. When you're playing a professional football, between 17 and 20 and you don't score that much, even when you're playing in a very advanced position on the field, that can still change. If you're still doing the same at 30, well, then it's maybe a bit of an issue of you as a player, let's say. Now, do I still think that the fee we paid for him is extortionate? Yes, I do. And personally, I think that it strongly suggests a serious worry about a transfer ban, looming within the club. Otherwise, I personally believe that we would have waited until the summer to try and get the transfer done rather than signing him now under these conditions, under, basically loaning him back to Dortmund and not actually getting him when we do sign him. Of course, other clubs might have gotten more involved if we tried to sign him in the summer, and it might have ended in a bidding war, raising a price to similar heights we paid for him now, but at least then we would have known what we were getting, because right now, we just don't know what we will get in the summer. We don't know how many games he'll play until the summer. Chances are that he'll play less than he would have done had we not signed him right now, simply because Dortmund know that he will leave in the summer. So, he won't play he will play when they need him, but he won't play, just because, they kind of want to make him better like Jadon Sancho, because they know he'll leave. And there is also always the chance of an injury, which could literally change everything, obviously depending on the severity of the injury. I mean, in theory, he could pick up a really bad injury in May and almost miss the entire next season for us. So, those are the kind of issues that you obviously face when you sign a player in January, but he actually only joins you in the summer, especially when you want to make him a part, a crucial part, let's say, of the first team squad. Moving on though, do I believe that Pulisic's arrival will harm the chances of Hudson-Odoi making it at Chelsea? And to be honest, yes I do. I do not agree with this statement thrown around everywhere that Pulisic is a right winger while Hudson-Odoi plays on the left. Eden Hazard is our left winger, unless he permanently, he will permanently be used up front. And I think that Eden Hazard will stay, but even if he doesn't, we will sign a huge player to replace him rather than just playing Hudson-Odoi on the left instead of him. So realistically, Hudson-Odoi won't be our starting left winger for the next 5 years. That is the most likely scenario. So if he does want to make it at Chelsea, and I do think that he does want to do that, he will have to make it on the right wing, which he certainly can in my opinion. I mean, look at someone like Pedro, who started his career as a left winger, but was then part of one of the best teams of all time, the best football teams of all time, as the right winger, playing a big part in their success. It is like, just because Willian, finds it a lot easier to play on the left than on the right, doesn't mean every player is like that. Most wingers can play almost equally as well on both sides. Pulisic is a right winger with a right foot. Yes, he maybe doesn't cut in as much, but if you played on the left more, I'm sure he would cut in a lot more, and that's what Hudson-Odoi does. So Hudson-Odoi can still play like Pulisic, in my opinion, probably better in a few years to come, on the right as well. So, if he wants to make it, he'll have to make it work at right wing as well. So yes, in my opinion, the arrival of Pulisic is not good for Hudson-Odoi. Nonetheless though, from a marketing standpoint, obviously talking about the fee again, the move certainly does make sense for us. He is the biggest prospect and player from the US currently, and obviously that is a huge market to exploit for clubs in Europe. Not just in shirt sales, etc. His move will be beneficial to us, but also in terms of attracting sponsors from America. And even as crazy as that fee might sound right now, we will make the money spent on him back very easily and very quickly with obviously that American market being exploited more by Chelsea now, which is obviously good. So speaking overall, is it a bad signing? It definitely is not a bad signing. Definitely not. But am I over the moon about it? Again, definitely not. Mainly because he's another right-footed player to play on the right, which in my opinion is the biggest issue with Willian and also with Pedro. we just need a left-footed player like on that right wing. I strongly believe that we need a left-footed player in that position. Generally, I just believe that we need more left-footed attacking players at the club. Like the only left-footed outfield players we have, if I'm not mistaken, are Alonso and Emerson. I don't think we have any others. We need some more left-footed players going forward as well, and especially in that right wing position. But while I'm not particularly over the moon about the signature, other clubs were interested in Pulisic for a reason. But other clubs are also interested in Hudson-Odoi for a reason. Let's just throw that in there as well. At the end of the day, though, he is now a Chelsea player, which means that he has my full support and will do so until the day that he leaves. Which is the same policy I apply to every single one of our players, no matter how badly they might be doing. And maybe something that some of you people that watch these videos and on football Twitter and stuff like that should consider, rather than making our players, the players we should support to try and help them play better, rather than making them disable their comments on social media because of the constant hate they are receiving. Maybe that's just something to think about. And lastly, obviously that is really it about Pulisic, but lastly, just to give you the latest bit of news, it does look like Cesc Fabregas will join Thierry Henry at Monaco in the coming days. Obviously his contract runs out in the next 6 months, well, in the summer, so we will probably let him go for free because we're just nice like that, I guess. And it has also been reported that Fulham have apparently secured the signing of Gary Cahill on loan until the end of the season. But yeah, that is it from me today. Of course, that is all the information I wanted to give you on Christian Pulisic. My video might be out a little bit later than some of the other, Chelsea YouTube content creators. I try to, be very thorough with my research. Might have still missed something, but I try to be very thorough and give you the latest information on the deal and everything. So yeah, that's what I've tried to provide basically. Of course, there will be a poll up there now. I should have added this earlier, but I forgot to mention it. I can't be asked to edit it around basically. So do click up there to choose whether you're happy with the signing of Christian Pulisic or whether you're not, including the whole, stipulations of, paying the money now and then only getting him in the summer and him being on loan at Dortmund for the rest of the season, stuff like that. Do click up there in the poll to choose whether you're happy about it or not. That would be very interesting. And also leave your thoughts down in the comments section below on everything that I've mentioned, also on Fabregas and Gary Cahill. Any thoughts you have down in the comments section below. Like I said in the beginning, let's see whether we can hit 500 or more likes in this video. That would be massively appreciated, so please do make sure to smash the like button down below. Also, don't forget to check out my social media, which is last1507 on both Instagram and Twitter, as you can see over here, and also the links to both of them are down in the description below, so please do make sure to follow me over there. I would massively love you for it, to be honest. I would massively love you for it. I would just love you for it if you could follow me. That'd be absolutely class. And of course, this is YouTube, so if you don't want to miss out on any of our future content, whether that is about transfers, obviously now in the January transfer window, or about games, reviews, previews, fan cams, all sorts of vlogs, yeah, don't forget to subscribe, and also don't forget to hit the notification bell button and choose to be notified about all uploads so you don't miss any of our future videos. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Up the Chels. Welcome Christian Pulisic, and I'll see you next time.